Welcome to Legacy Magazine presents The Business of Black Business, a talk show that interviews Black entrepreneurs and advocates for Black businesses. Topics include access to capital, best business practices, success stories, and more. Now introducing our host, Jay Reynolds.
Hi, welcome to the business of Black business. Do you dream of working in sports and event marketing? Are you working for a firm right now and would like to go out on your own? Well, this week, stay tuned because we get to talk to a person who did exactly that, who built his own ship. Tune in. Anyway, today, my name is Jay Reynolds, and welcome to the Business of Black Business again. Thank you for tuning in. I own WolfCreek Consulting. We are a top-ranked executive staffing firm located in South Florida with an office in Birmingham, Alabama, and West Palm Beach, Florida. We specialize in placing people in finance, accounting, and IT. Now, the Business of Black Business is a show that's designed to help Black entrepreneurs and would-be business owners navigate the difficult minefields of starting and managing and scaling up a business. It's really a unique opportunity to gain access to hear directly from successful business owners, people that have actually built successful businesses. I want you to hear how they did it. I want you to hear what actually happened. I want you to know what went right, but we also get to ask the question about what didn't go right, what went wrong, and how they handled it. Well, today we have a unique opportunity to talk to somebody that I believe is a juggernaut in this space. We get to meet Rohan Sutherland. Rohan, how are you, big guy? Good to meet you.
Jay, how are you doing today, man? And thank you guys for having me on the show.
Thank you for taking the time to do this. I know you have a lot going on, and to share your time and your expertise and your knowledge is huge because you're a person that's somebody that we can all learn a lot from. So I'm really thankful for you taking the time to be here. So with that being said, to get started, I typically don't read bios. Everybody knows that comes on the show. Will read a snippet of your bio because I want people to have some kind of understanding of who you are and how you've evolved, or how your business has evolved. So Rohan Sutherland is the managing partner of the Genesis Media Group, and he graduated from Montclair State University with a bachelor's degree in political science with a minor in pre-law. Upon graduating from undergrad school, he enrolled in Southern Connecticut University Law, but he quickly decided that law school wasn't for him. Funny, I got a funny story for you about that. I got that T-shirt. He decided to relocate back to Florida to pursue a career in sports and entertainment. He landed an internship with the sports management firm Total Entertainment and Athletic Management, a team management firm of predominantly NFL players. And after a few months, he was named director of marketing, where duties included public relations and endorsement and marketing opportunities for athletes. After about 3 years, Rohan founded Genesis Media Group, an agency focused on event production, marketing, and promotions in the sports entertainment arena. The company has produced celebrity basketball tournaments, festivals, golf tournaments, and community engaging type events, as well as brand initiatives. And much, much more. I could go on and on and on about the things that you've done. Really want to give you the opportunity to not only talk about who you are, how you got there, and some of the things that you got going on, right?
Right.
So with that being said, the first thing I really want to do, Rohan, is tell us about you. And what I mean from the perspective of who you are, who your mentors were, where you grew up, and why you are the guy you are today. What makes you you?
Right. So again, thank you for the introduction. I'm originally from Jamaica, descendant of Jamaica. I came to South Florida here, and then after graduating high school, went to New Jersey to start my undergrad. Went to Randolph County Memorial College, transferred to Montclair State University, and I played basketball there. So sports was really my thing. You know, Jay, when you're growing up, your parents always wanted you to be somebody, right? So,
doctor, lawyer, or an Indian chief.
Exactly. So I chose to be a lawyer because, you know, you want to make your mom and your dad proud and so forth. So, you know, after I finished Montclair State University, I did the political science thing, and I decided, I moved to Connecticut with my older brother, and I said, let me try this this graduate program to take me to become a lawyer. After about 3-4 weeks, I'm like, no, this is not this. I can't do this. So I told my brother, I said, listen, man, I appreciate everything you've done for me. I'm going to move back to Florida and try to pursue sports marketing and management as my career. And it didn't work out like that immediately. You know, I had my degree, working odd jobs. I was actually working like in a telemarketing company, making like $12 an hour, right? Right. With the graduate degree. For some reason, you're graduating, and the first thing an employer wants to tell you is like, you have an experience. I'm like, yeah. Where am I going to get the experience from if I just graduated? I need to start working to get the experience. So, you know, I started going through the phone book, and I found a sports management company.
Hang on for a second, Rohan. You went through a phone book, and found this company and decided to call them.
No, I didn't even call.
Okay,
I went to the office, and I knocked on the door, and I said, I saw your agency, and I'm interested in possibly be an employee here. So the guy, the lead agent was David Canner at the time, right? And he sat me down. He's like, I appreciate you coming in. This is unusual, but it shows your desire, right? So he sat me down, and he says, well, and when I walked into the office at the time, it's when Stephen Davis, the running back from the Redskins, those are one of the clients. He had Travis Taylor. He had some big NFL players. He was like, you can intern here. I cannot pay you, but you can learn. And this is what I want you to do. Call the news stations, call the television companies, call BET, book my clients on BET, call the car dealership, get some car deals, research the autograph industry. Here's the book with all the names of the companies, the Coca-Colas and so forth. Make those calls. So I started doing that. And then after 4 months into the job, the company got an infusement of funding from a guy named Bob Alterman, who himself ran a medical billing service company. So he came and he invested in the company. Upon investing in the company, David said, listen, we got some money. You've been doing a great job. I'm going to hire you as my director of marketing. I'm going to also give you a stipend for a car. Gave me a stipend for my car. And then that was the start of my sports and entertainment career.
Crazy how things happen, though. A couple of things that you did, right?
Right.
You worked for a telemarketer for a while, right? Which means that you learned that is a lesson of tenacity, persistence that you can't get anyplace else but working in telemarketing. So you basically had to pound the phones for a while, and then now you found yourself in a real job, let's call it, where you still had to pound the phones. You could take that knowledge, that knowledge that you gained from working in a telemarketing company, and parlay that into something that's, let's call it, a real job. That's actually pretty cool. Things happen the way they're supposed to, is really where I'm going with that.
Yes. And so, unfortunately then, with some egos and stuff within the company, the sports management company team didn't last long. Now, David is a dynamic individual, right? And if you do your research on David Cannon, you see who he is. He's now one of the biggest sports agents in the NFL. And I actually credit him. He's my main mentor. I credit him for really giving me the start and putting me in a position to where I'm at now. After the company folded, I decided with another person that was working there, let's venture out. Let's do our own thing, right? So we decided to start, and actually there was a photo shoot, right? A photo shoot that they were curating called Models of the NFL.
Okay.
Right? And that photo shoot was Jason Taylor. It was Jesse Armstead. It was Terrell Owens, Travis Taylor, and a whole bunch of other guys, right?
You kind of remember that. Was that like 8 or 9 years ago, somewhere in that labor.
Yeah, that was I think that was 2000. No, that was 2005. It was like 2005, right?
Yes, a little bit more than that. Yeah, I remember that. I
Right.
remember that.
So that calendar was directed by Michelle Palmier, who's one of the big modeling agencies in Miami. So at that photo shoot, that's where I met Terrell Owens, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I said to T.O., hey, T.O., that's when he was at the 49ers. T.O., who's doing your marketing? He's like, I really don't have anybody. I said, would you give us the opportunity to do so? He said, yeah, go ahead, get something, you get your 20%, whatever. And we started with T.O., getting them autograph deals, a couple pairs here and there and so forth. And then, we went to his house in Atlanta one time and we were there talking. He was talking about his grandmother, Alice Walker, who had Alzheimer's, right? And we came up with the idea of doing a celebrity basketball game at the Super Bowl in New Orleans. And that was our first event. Out on a whim,
Wow.
our own money, no sponsor. We didn't even know about getting sponsors at the time. We just said, we're going to do this game. Went to the game. Game was a success. Birdman, I think Jamie Foxx was involved because they were friends of him. Yeah. And we raised money for Alzheimer's. And that also helped him sat before Congress to speak about the disease of Alzheimer's. So that's where we really, really started. That was our first start in the sports entertainment business, doing our own events. Right.
And I tell you what, that changed the perception of T.O. in the general public for a long time. The fact that he was actively involved in being an advocate for Alzheimer's and research and stuff like that. It took him from one realm, this narrow realm of ball player, to something different, right?
Right.
I'm old enough to remember that kind of stuff, right?
Right. Yeah. T.O.'s a very misunderstood guy. He's literally a good guy. He's just misunderstood. You know how the media will.
Of course.
Yeah. So misunderstood. He's a great guy.
They want to sell papers. Media.
Right. Exactly.
Want to sell papers. If you do something good, that's on the back page. But you do something questionable or whatever, that's absolutely on the front page. Talk to me a little bit about how you believe you became an expert in sports and entertainment in this industry. You did that one thing in the Superdome. What else do you think drove your ability to navigate this space?
Right. So again, after the first event, which I think we spent roughly on our first event $15,000 to $20,000 out of pocket. Right. Mm-hmm. So that led me to now starting to do research and development. Right. I try to find out, well, we're seeing Pepsi here, we're seeing Coke here, we're seeing McDonald's here, we're seeing McDonald's on all these events. How are these? How are they connected? So doing my research, we found out a lot of these events are sponsored by, these companies based on sponsor research and finding out where does it fit in the realm of what the companies are looking for. So we learn how to solicit and negotiate sponsorships for an event. We learn how to include the dynamic of philanthropy. I know you guys got a golf tournament coming up. So we know how to put those two together. And majority of all our events are really for the greater good. There's some charity connotation involved. For one, it does help with reaching a broader spectrum for sponsors, right? And also gives you the opportunity of their heart feeling of giving back to the community and so forth. So we tie both of them in together. But learning and growing and learning how to develop sponsor relationships as it relates to event planning was key to our growth.
I got to say, it's very, very cool. First of all, you're in a very competitive space, and to be as successful as you are, as quickly as you have been, that says a lot about your grind, right? Yes. And I tell people all the time, man, it's always, give me somebody with some grind and some hustle, and I take that person over talent any single day of the week, right?
Yeah, you definitely need that
we'll talk a little bit about that grind and hustle in a second. Tell me a little bit about, you're originally from the East Coast, but what brought you to South Florida? Your family's here, or what brings you here?
Your family is here. So as I mentioned, I have family in Jersey and I have family in South Florida. My dad's side of the family is in Jersey.
Okay.
And then my mom's here. So after I decided that the law school thing wasn't for me, I decided to move back here to South Florida, West Palm Beach.
Okay.
To be closer to family, my brothers and so forth. And then this is also the hotbed for a lot of these NFL guys. You see the guys like the Willis McGahees and the Clinton Portis and so forth. Yeah. And then in my younger days, you're able to meet them, right? So you're going to South Beach. Back in my younger days, we're going to the clubs and we're hanging out, and you run into the VIP. You're running into everybody from the Shacks to the to TOs, to all those people there. So we're able to introduce ourselves and make business connections and so forth. So South Florida was a perfect place to be able to meet these potential clients and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. And it gets to the place now where it's not even a big deal. You see somebody and nobody starts struck anymore, right? Because
exactly,
these guys
not at all.
These guys all here. You look over, you got a Lamborghini with Jason Taylor next to you, and
exactly.
Inside,
that's Jay.
Yeah, exactly. Hey man, what's up?
Right.
And that's about it. Tell me about your weekend coming up. You have this amazing weekend coming up that everybody's talking about. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Right. So last year, got invited to an event in New York. The event was called Picnic, dynamic event, outdoor picnic festival, music, decor, and so forth. Right. So we took a look at it. And for me, myself, I'm always thinking about things that we could do for our people, for our culture, that sets us apart, stands us out, gives us a chance to bring us together and to celebrate each other. So I spoke to my team. I'm like, you see this event that they're having in New York? That looks dope. What if we do something for us that celebrates us? And we came up with the name Black Nick, created a space, rented out the Boynton Beach Amphitheater in Boynton, and we just put out a flyer.
Right.
Flyer went viral, and it was like lightning in the bottles, I term it. And February 19th last year, I think we had about, I would say 1,300 people for our first one. It was great. It was a success. And we decided, okay, we're going to continue. It is our vision, or my vision, to really see this become one of the preeminent celebrations, not just in South Florida, but nationally, where people are seeing this event and want to come into our beautiful South Florida area, visit our beaches, visit our counties, and just enjoy the culture, celebrate each other for Black History Month. Mm-hmm. So we kind of create a whole event, a whole weekend, which includes our Black Leadership Summit, which is going to be on that Friday, February 17th in Boynton. We have some dynamic speakers. Our keynote speaker is Yvette Miley. She's the Senior Vice President for Diversity and Inclusion at MSNBC in New York. If you're looking at Don Lemon and all those great journalists are on television late night and so forth, she's responsible for them and the diversity and culture at MSNBC. We also have speaking Virginia Baker, who was the first Black Palm Beach County administrator in that role. Of course, we have Dexter Bridgman from your organization here, who's going to be one of our speakers speaking on his career professions. We have William McCormick, chairman of the board from Florida Memorial University. Our entire leadership summit focused on leashing your potential. Like, every one of us has that inner potential that we need to get out. So we want these speakers are going to be able to indulge with you and drive you to present to yourself and the world that inner ability that you have, because they had it and they're in positions now that someone helped them unleash. Exactly. Topics will include financial literacy, mental health, wills and trust, business development, leadership. And a key component of the summit is also bringing together the nuclear family. One of the aspects that I found is that the mom, the dad, the son, the daughter, they're not together, because we don't focus on that. We focus on everything else instead of keeping the family together. And usually research shows that if their family is together, everyone is more successful. The child is more successful. There's much love going around from everybody else. So that's part of our summit as well.
We have to do that, man. We really have to build back the nuclear family. We really do. I mean, if you think about your own life and my own life, I can tell you, that up until the time I was like 14 or 15 years old, we had a nuclear family. My mom and my dad got divorced when I was like 14 or 15 years old. But by the time I was 15, I was already going to be the person that I was going to be, right? And that had a lot to do with the fact that I had a dad that made sure that I went to school and, and did cut the grass and all of the things that we had made our own money and that kind of stuff. And that's not happening with kids now. And, single parents, whether it's a man or a woman, they're not being able to spend as much time with these kids as they would like to, because they really, really they're trying to make a living for them, right? And take care of their own mental health. So I think a big part of what you're talking about is so freaking important. Just building that nuclear family back. I think that's huge.
Right. And a lot of people too, and a lot of the reason why the nuclear family is separate, because now in today's society, everyone is being trained to be the Iron Man or the Iron Woman, and so that you're so independent and so much better off by being by yourself. And that's not the case when you have that family together. And it's for your mental health and also for those kids that you're grooming. If they're in a loving space, chances are their generation is going to be in a loving space as well. So that's one of the reasons why we're putting that topic in as far as our leadership summit is the building the nuclear family.
Well, I'll tell you what, I have already bought my ticket. I'm going to be there on Monday, not only just to see my boy Dexter, but you have a panel of a bunch of alpha men on that thing. You got a bunch of alphas on there. You from Stevenson to Grayson to who else? Dexter and one other person.
And I also have the Brenton Jones. Brenton used to be a VP of the Miami Dolphins. Now he's the first black VP of a large private jet company.
Yeah. And Bill McCormick. All of those guys are alpha men, every one of them. So you did good.
Thank you.
But I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. And most of those guys, most of those folks on the panel, I know or know something about. Rudy LaRose, I've known for many years. Actually helped me to do the IT work in my business when he was, very many years ago, just starting off. He set up one of my first offices. So, I mean, you have an amazing panel. I'm really looking forward to this.
And then on Saturday, now that it's the celebration, right? It's the Black Excellence. It's Black Excellence picnic where everybody gets together, dress nice, Kentucky Derby style. Put on your nice South Florida chic outfit that we're calling it. The fellas dress real clean.
Little linen. Got to have that linen.
You got to have that linen, right? And we're celebrating Black excellence. The dynamic Kiki Wyatt will be one of our performers, our main headliner performing. We have Kaylin Arlen, the dynamic R&B singer as well, performing. Spoken word artist. We have a live band, the Entice Band performing. When you visit our field at the Sunset Cove, you're going to see dynamic picnic installations, great photo walls, African-American art, our Garden of Excellence, which is curated to honor past greats from our culture, including Martin Luther King, Dorothy Dandridge, and so forth. So it's going to be special. It's going to be dynamic, and the vibe is going to be nothing but love and togetherness for our culture.
I got to tell you, man, I am so looking forward to this. So looking forward to it. Tell me a little bit about what you have, what's coming next. What's coming next for you and your organization, Rohan?
Well, so again, we typically plan events across the country, right? We're either helping other organizations in sponsorships or marketing, right? Or we also curating our own event. So we're probably looking to plan another BlackLuxe Picnic Festival somewhere. We're looking at either DC or Atlanta, right? We work with various athletes too. So we're looking to probably for the upcoming NFL season, maybe one of our sports agents partners or Miami Dolphins players, celebrity golf tournament, possibly a Top Golf. We're looking to also come up with another, various events that's going to benefit the greater good, right? We are always doing events that benefits charity organizations. People reach out to us for support, help, and marketing. So we got a few things in the pipeline.
Cool. In terms of things like, you've been successful and you obviously have a vision. Well, what motivates you to keep doing what you're doing? What motivates you to keep going?
Right. So I'm of Jamaican descent, right? So we just love to work. We love to have our 5, 6, 7 jobs, right?
Yeah.
So I'm challenged to see something grow from something small to something huge, right? So, one of our festivals where we do it in June. It's called Job Fest. It's our Caribbean Heritage Festival, right? Where we celebrate.
You do that here in South Florida?
Yes, we do it in West Palm Beach every June, right? So that grew from 300 people to 3,000 people annually, right? Started our BlackLuxe picnic, which last year was 1,300 people. We're looking to make that even bigger. So the motivation is always take things from one spot to another level while also giving back to the community, raising money for charity and so forth. For our weekend here, there's two charity that we're benefiting. One is the Bold Foundation with our leadership, and then the Hope Health and Healing Foundation with our picnic festival. So we love giving back. That is our motivation, and we love creating events that people are going to enjoy and have fun and just unite and come together.
Cool. Now, with success comes adversity, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes people look at successful people and they think that it just happened overnight, or they live a charmed life, or it's all like roses and gumdrops, right? And that's really not the case. Talk to me a little bit about moments where you really had to overcome adversity. Give me something specific that happened that you had to overcome.
So we're doing these events, right? There's rules and regulations that you have to follow with municipalities, permits and so forth. So oftentimes, man, it comes down to where sometimes you feel like you're not going to have your event because you don't have your permit for the county because something is off here, right? So there's many times where we're like at the last doorstep for an event, and we felt like, man, this is not going to happen. This is not going to be successful because we're not to the point where we need to be. And lo and behold, I mean, God always comes through and we're always there. And there's also times when you do promote events or produce events, you spend hundreds and thousands of dollars, right? And it doesn't work out for you financially and you want to quit, So there's times when we've done events where they're not all been very, very successful, but you have to stick with it because not everything you're not going to win every time. So you have to be able to take the wins and the losses, and the losses you're going to learn from your mistakes, your trials and tribulations, and how you build from that. So that's what we've been able to do. When adversity sets in, we're taking a specific loss sometimes. For instance, when our first celebrity basketball game, it was a loss, but we didn't stop. Right?
Yeah.
Now we're able to do celebrity basketball game. We've done it with Chad Johnson. We've done it with Antonio Brown. We've done it with Chris Johnson. And next year, hopefully, we'll probably be partnering with another NFL player to do it in Vegas. So since our last failure, all our events have been successful as far as celebrity basketball games, donating hundreds and thousands of dollars to charity. So we learn from those adversities and we build and grow moving forward.
It's all about building a brand too, right? Nobody knew about it, but if you build a product that people are talking about for the next 364 days.
Yes.
Next year, it works. It manages itself, almost. Talk to me about your 5-year plan without giving anybody any secret sauce. But tell me, what are you going to be doing in 5 years, Rohan?
Well, 5 years, we want to have all the events that we are producing, at least 5 of our events to be major signature events that people know about. Our BlackLuxe picnic, our Caribbean festival, our celebrity basketball games, and our charity golf tournaments that we do. We want them to be signature events, household name events, like you hear Essence Festival, right?
Right.
You hear Jazz in the Garden, household events, right? So we're trying to create these events so that 5 years from now, those events are events that everybody are familiar with and are traveling to wherever we're at to attend these events. That is our 5-year mission, our 5-year goal.
Cool. Hey, you're definitely well on the way because I can tell you everybody's talking about this.
Yes,
everybody's talking about not only the Friday event, which is going to be for the mind and the soul, but the Saturday event as well for everybody. Folks are just talking about going out and buying a new outfit and showing up fly,
looking fresh,
and going to have a good time. So the buzz is on the street, brother. That's all I'm saying. The buzz is on the street.
Thank you.
So with that being said, I got to tell you again, Rohan, I really, really appreciate your time, especially because you have this thing coming up in just a couple of days. I know you're running around like a madman trying to make this happen.
Crazy, right?
So thank you for taking the time to do this. So hang in with me for one more second. I really need to thank the sponsors, the people that actually make this happen. Then I'm going to come back to you to get your final thoughts, the last words. I'll give you the last words, okay? So first of all, I want to thank Legacy Magazine and the whole team, Aaliyah, Dexter, and all of you guys for doing the hard work. What you're doing is you're making this information available to people. Another thing that I wanted to remind everybody about is, Aaliyah, what you put that up there, the Legacy Magazine, yeah, that one. The Black History Month Legacy Magazine. It's out there both in the paper form as well as the digital form. It's really, really good reading. Go find that magazine. If you haven't seen it already for 2023, it is amazing work. It's a really amazing work. And I want to thank you guys, the editor, for putting that stuff together. Russell Motley. Russell, you're doing a pretty damn good job. Thank you very much. So I also want to thank Demesman and Dover personal injury attorneys. You guys have been with us for a very long time. I really appreciate you supporting not only Black businesses, but also supporting Black HBCUs. Career Source South Florida. Thank you also for being a member, being a supporter. Career Source South Florida, each and every month, post a lot of jobs on their website that you basically can actually go out and apply for. They have a couple of jobs. I'll give you a few of them. There's a physical therapy job out there for $37 an hour. There's a sales account manager for $27, also for $37 an hour. There's an event planning manager position for $26 an hour. And there's an aircraft mechanic position, which is a new one I've never seen before, at $23 an hour. But each and every week, Career Source refreshes these jobs, and you can basically go on their website and apply for something that may change not only your life, but the lives of everybody that's in your orbit, your family, and as well. I want to thank FAMU, Medical Marijuana Education and Research Institute, the Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County, and last and certainly not least, AARP. Again, you guys have been sponsors for the last year and a half. So thank you again for making this possible. Lastly, I'm just going to go back to you, Rohan, and why don't you tell me what you want to leave people with, okay? Give me 3 points of light, let's call it, or some secret sauce of things that you think are important as it relates to being an entrepreneur, as it relates to building brands, as it relates to following your dreams. Give me some things that you think are important.
Number one important is perseverance, right? You're gonna get obstacles. You're gonna get no's. In my world, especially when it comes to sponsorship, and Jay, you probably know this well, right? You will reach out to 100 companies. Hey, I want you to sponsor my golf tournament. I want you to sponsor my show or be an advertiser and so forth. And you get so many no's, so many no's, so many no's, so many. It doesn't fit our target audience. It doesn't do this. But you got to keep pounding. You got to keep pounding. And then when you do find that one, right, that one supporter, how you treat that one supporter depends on if they're going to come back or not. So you got to always keep that relationship great. Go above and beyond what you offer as far as your benefits for your sponsorships. So perseverance and not giving up when you get those no's, and always feel good about what you're doing as your brand. Feel that your brand is worth the time, the effort to put into it, and just keep grinding. I always say that, like you said, the grind never stops, and you just want to keep pushing until till you're at the level where you feel comfortable moving forward.
Got it. Hey, again, thank you very much. It's really always gratifying to me to talk to people like you that have, let's call it, created something from nothing. Everybody can't do that, Rohan.
Right.
And you have created something from nothing. And not only you've created something from nothing, you built a brand that people look forward to, that you impact people's lives. Mm-hmm. You employ folks, you entertain folks. And then not only that, you give money to causes that make sense, that help our community. So for me, that's like a three-legged stool, right? You do all three of those things, man, and very proud of the accomplishments that you've made. So with that being said, again, this is the Business of Black Business. My name is Jay Reynolds. I own WolfCreek Consulting. We are a top-ranked executive staffing firm. We specialize in placing people in finance and accounting. And you've been talking to Rohan, hearing from Rohan Sutherland. And I want you guys to tune in next week when we'll talk about another subject that's topical with another thought leader like Rohan. So tune in next Monday, same time, same place, for the Business of Black Business.
Thank you for having me, Jay. I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, sir.